Reena Ezra. Shortly, I'll be joined by Brendan. Unfortunately, we don't have Jordan this episode because he's too cool for us. No, not true. But we are joined by Kieran and Aodhan of the band Seltzer. I probably saw you guys because I just have already a ton of questions because I want to know where the band name came from. I want to know the origination of the band. But my introduction to you guys was through Jordan. But the first time I saw you play was they had a little festival in Warwick. Remind me, what was the name? It was like
Battle Candle.
Battle Candle, okay. I was gonna say Candlewick, but that wasn't it. Battle Candle. And then I was just listening to your stuff on Spotify nonstop, and I just really liked it. The sound was very, very cool. And you guys were amazing. You guys were wonderful.
Thanks.
So thank you first for being on the show.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Actually, before we dive in, we give every guest a challenge. Everyone gets their own challenge. They list something in a different category every time. You can shout it out at any time. If you want to do a versus, so whoever gets the most wins, we could absolutely do that. I'll be checking, no using your phone, do not cheat. I'll be checking if these are real, but you have to list throughout the length of the podcast, just something fun to do in the background, as many punk rock bands as you can.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I would probably
How long
not
is
have.
the podcast?
It's as long as Zoom will allow us, but we could also start a separate session if we needed to go on beyond an hour. So yes, you can start whenever you want, but whoever wants to go first also with the origination of the band, how it came about, and the band name and the other members, and yeah.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah. In terms of the band name.
Sure, yeah. Who came up with that?
I think it came from originally we'd considered naming a song Seltzer, but I think Kieran was the one that was that's just a great name for the band for us because
I thought it was the opposite. I thought that was your idea.
Oh yeah, I thought it was yours.
Yeah, the memory.
So we also grew
There
up
are many
drinking
truths,
seltzer.
I bet. There are many sides to the story.
Yeah. It was kind of a family thing for us, I think. That's what we I don't know. We grew up in Warwick, where you saw us play, actually. And I don't know, for some reason, that was just the beverage of choice. I brought it to bed, and I drank it with dinner and everything. So
we had a whole cabinet dedicated to seltzer just next to
Well,
the
what
kitchen
kinds? What kinds? What are your
Just
go-to
plain.
seltzers?
usually plain. But
Sometimes lemon lime.
Wait, is there a specific brand?
it was often, I think, vintage, in the plastic 1-liter bottles.
Wow.
So we would take markers and write our initial on the caps.
Got you.
So
Okay.
We'd just drink them a liter at a time.
God.
As thinking about it, we wasted so many plastic bottles.
Bottles.
Wow.
Yeah,
Creating your band, you were slowly destroying the planet at the same time.
Yeah.
I have a soda stream now for what it's worth.
You what? I'm saying that again?
I have a soda stream now for what it's worth, so I'm not going through the same amount of plastic bottles.
Good. Well, I'm going through probably as many cans, so I don't know if that's any better.
I don't know if are cans better. Do they recycle these?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Earth's already on fire. I try my hardest. I have my metal straws.
Yes.
There's a funny meme I saw with something about the turtles, the straws going to the ocean, and there's a picture of a turtle using it to snort cocaine. And it was
just helping out the environment.
Yeah. Oh no, we're enabling their drug habits. Okay.
Oh yeah, parquet courts.
What? I'm sorry. Say that again.
That's a parquet courts.
Waves.
Okay. That's 1-1. So how old were you guys when you started the band?
Well, we started the band kind of as an offshoot of this other band that we were in together for years. And I think it was like, I don't know, like how... Like
2017?
Like 5 years? Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, I think so. I think about 5 years ago, probably. Just me and Aiden started playing by ourselves and some other kind of, genres that we were interested in checking out. And then I think maybe like 6-8 months into it, when we had a few songs, then we asked our friend Johnny if he could jump in and play bass.
Cool.
Another friend of ours from Warwick.
Yeah.
So are they all from Warwick?
Yeah.
I love that. Great. So how was your experience? I know Jordan's experience growing up in Warwick. How about you guys? How was Warwick?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's, I love it. In retrospect, it's really nice. I had a great time growing up there. It definitely felt like a small town, so I think a lot of folks were excited to get out of there or do something else.
Yeah,
but,
oh, somebody else who's from Warwick.
No.
Brendan O'Brien.
Don't introduce me like that. Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Hello, fellas.
He's from, I'm using air quotes, Greenwood Lake. But we all know Warwick.
That's
one
Warwick,
of the,
technically, right?
the one of the boroughs.
You are from Warwick. I can tell the way you're talking about it.
I love it.
It's the rivalry that only exists one way. It's just Greenwood Lake to Warwick, and then Warwick is like, oh, you mean our child, Greenwood Lake?
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
It is what it is, Brendan. Don't get your panties into this.
All right. No more panty talk. How are you guys doing?
We're just exploring their Warwick childhood.
Ah, very nice.
We unraveled the origination of the band name. Everyone in it is from Warwick. Mm-hmm. This is so exclusive, this band. Wow. If you're not from Warwick, you cannot get in this band.
Wow.
So far.
Yeah, so far. Yeah.
So far, yeah.
So what about your interests in music? I mean, any genre, from a young age, what were you guys listening to? What were you tapping into? What was like the fascination?
I am 6 years older than Aiden. Oh. So when I was like 11 or 12, I became obsessed with Enema of the State by Blink-182 when that came out.
Yeah.
So I think that, and then all the million sorts of offshoots from bands looking to imitate that kind of style, I think is really what... I was like 11, 12 and learned how to play guitar at the time. So I think just kind of stuck. And I've always really enjoyed that kind of really sort of pop approach to punk music.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Aiden?
Well, I guess being Kieran's younger brother, I mostly just listened to his iTunes. So like when I was like 6, 7, I was very into Enema of the State. Mm-hmm. And just, very into pop rock, pop punk, and
on your iPod Shuffle that no longer exists.
R.I.P.
That's now.
You just play.
I think I was burning CDs and stuff.
Oh yeah, true. I was also
Yeah, that's kind of like the double-sided thing of like being able to stream music. It's like you can listen to any song you want basically as long as it's on that platform. But then it's also you don't have like the luxury of like the mixtape culture and like the curating of music for other people culture as much.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I know. I also had, in my car in Warwick, I had this MP3, or rather like a tape deck or a CD deck that would play MP3 CDs.
Wow.
I could load like 300 or more songs onto that kind of thing. So put like an entire library on there and like, a few CDs.
That's wicked.
Yeah. Do you know so how when did you guys start playing music together? Obviously you're brothers, but like when did like it feel like you were really...
Yeah, when it clicked.
Yeah.
Did you get along at first, or were you just like, oh my god, dude, you're not on my vibes?
I feel like we always vibed really well. Like we used to play in a band like back in like 2013 or 14 for like 3 years, and then we started Seltzer after that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I feel like we kind of had like warm up time.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like later, right? You know, we had our brotherhood friendship in Warwick, and then I moved down here, and it wasn't for like 6 years later before you moved down here for school. Yeah. And then we kind of started to play music together right around then. So we had played music separately, I think. It wasn't until we were living down here together that we played together.
So how does the collaboration work? So I heard also, because I love the storytelling and like the somewhat humor you have in your songs. Like when Jordan was in the music video, when I first listened to Todd, it's just like, wow, this is so simple, but it just sounds so good. And it's just like, that's it. It's blame on your wallet, Todd. And then you had, it's just like, where did that come from? Who like writes, who does like music, rhythmically, musicality, like how does the collaboration work?
So that one, the idea of the story, I think we came up with together when we had the music for that song, didn't we? I think at the time when we had music for something and we didn't know what to write it about, we'd just like name it first. And then write lyrics around that. So I think we came up with the name Todd first. I thought it was just like a funny name first.
Yeah. And I think Johnny had found a wallet, and we kind of joked about like all the stuff we could do with all the free things, like all the memberships in the wallet.
It was like a good wallet. With like lots of good stuff in it. But you weren't spending their money or anything. It was
you're just riding off it, like walking in their shoes. You know, you get the free ice cream on their 10th like scale.
You punch their other coffee card. You get that free coffee.
Kind of thing. Yeah, you know, they happen to be a member at a museum you've been wanting to go to for a while or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of perks of being someone else, especially for just a day, you know. Yeah.
So and we mail it back at the end.
Exactly right.
That's
it's a moral tale.
I also loved at the end.
And we put our number inside. Really cool. I really like you if you want to hang out.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah. So how did you guys meet the other members of the band, and how did they come into the fold with you guys?
Well, I've known Johnny since like I was like 10, I think, like him being in Warwick and everything, and I've known Kieran longer, obviously, my whole life. But like, I guess when I had moved to the city in like 2015, like Johnny had gotten me a job, and that's how like we started hanging out again. And like Kieran and I had been playing music, and we needed a bassist. It's just the two of us. So I don't know, he seemed like the perfect candidate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What are the things about like a bassist specifically that either you were looking for or that you like think makes a good bassist?
Johnny, I think, is like the perfect fit for Seltzer for us, like for what we had. Like the kind of guitar that I just play like rhythm guitar, so it's like very basic guitar chords and stuff like that. And so I think for him, he doesn't just like play the same kind of root notes that I'm playing. He brings really interesting like bass melody into it. And on top of that, he has this like angelic falsetto voice that he builds all of these harmonies with whatever kind of lyrics I'm usually bringing, and he's able to do both very quickly and at the same time. And you know, it's just great company to hang out with as well too.
That's cool.
Yeah. How much does that have a factor into the rehearsal process and just like being a band together? How much the personalities gel together?
I think it's like maybe the most important.
Yeah.
It's really hard, and it's not fun to be in a space with no windows for a few hours trying to collaborate with someone that you don't really like so much.
True, yeah.
Yeah. Have you had experiences, either of you, of either long-term or short-term working with musicians that like it just did not gel.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
Yeah. And there.
How'd that breakup go? Was it hard? Did you not like having the combo? Letting him down easy. Like how does the conversation go? How do you say where you're like, sorry, you need to exit the band? Like
yeah, I luckily got away from ever having to have that.
Oh, did it fall on Aiden?
No, I don't think so. A lot of things I just have.
It's just natural.
I think everyone knows, like, we're maybe
Okay.
this will fizzle out,
Okay.
or I don't know, it just happens naturally.
That's good. That's a
It
good
makes me
bullet to
uncomfortable
that.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's like the talking about it. It's
Yeah.
like,
That's good. That means you guys are nice people.
Yeah.
If someone were to enjoy that, that says something about their nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank you.
So, what was the last live concert you guys saw or festival because of the whole pandemic situation? I'm always interested. What was like, or you can answer it as like, what's the first live performance you saw right after the pandemic when you could?
We've been to 2 together recently.
And with Johnny the last time too. Actually, the band I named before, we have to remember to keep playing this game. We saw Parquet Courts together, the three of us. And that was maybe the last thing I was at. It wasn't too long ago. It was maybe like 5 weeks ago or something.
Yeah. And we saw Animal Collective before that, like a month before.
Okay.
I feel like I've been to not a lot of shows since like the pandemic started, but probably like 4 or 5, something like that. I saw Bright Eyes Outdoors last year. That was fun.
Yeah.
I got some stuff coming up. We're seeing who are we seeing? Stide-Eyed very soon.
Who's
Really
that?
fun band.
A local Brooklyn band.
Ooh.
I believe Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, either Brooklyn or Queens. They're great. Can't wait to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I saw
we
them
might
a
be
few
going
years ago.
Yeah,
It's
I haven't
amazing.
seen them yet.
How do you guys find new music to listen to, especially things that are maybe not as like mega mainstream and super accessible to everybody?
What about you?
Like, for me, it's just like a lot of just going through suggested artists or just like kind of checking out. Like, I always talk to people at work. I guess a lot of people I work with always have really good recommendations. So,
Yeah, no, same. Have a lot of luck looking through suggested artists on Spotify and just kind of like, following the web of, bands that you can do. They're not all
the algorithms.
up my alley. But
Yeah, I was gonna say the algorithm. Although my Discover Weekly's been disappointing me lately.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
that
Spotify,
never-
you think you know
yeah.
me, but sometimes you
Yeah.
get it wrong.
Yeah. It's kind of, you have to do like a manual slog, I think,
Yes.
for it to like really pay off.
Like, I'll go to an artist I don't know, and I'll go to their suggested artists, and that's all like,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good
And then
strategy.
also, I think it's really nice to like, not always listen to, punk music, for example, and to like switch it up and listen to other things and get into that, so it doesn't get boring.
Like opera.
Yeah.
I wish.
There are guys, no more punk, only opera in our ears.
We can make it work.
Yeah. What other genres would you say have influenced you guys the most besides the genre that you play in, like specifically?
I think we should do an honorary mention to Neil Young Harvest Moon album.
Oh my God.
That our dad would play on repeat for
Mm.
years. Like, I love it. But it's definitely
But does that influence Seltzer? I
on some
guess.
subliminal level.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
right.
on a
It's
subliminal
ingrained.
level, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's through feeling, I guess.
Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so
Hey,
what
how's it going?
other genres have do you feel like have influenced your music specifically the most, that are like outside of the genre that you play?
I feel like a lot of older, like 50s classic rock and roll, like when it was like blues becoming rock and roll, kind of that
like rockabilly.
Buddy
Holly,
sure.
kind of. I feel like.
Fats Domino, even like Sister
Everly
Rose
Brothers.
Yeah, sure. And just that kind of like really fun, simple, straightforward, like 12-bar blues, but fast and groovy rock songs with catchy choruses. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that was music that your parents listened to when you guys were growing up, or not too much?
Not really, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not really played like so often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, like Aiden alluded to, our dad was obsessed with Neil Young, but
Maybe
I
Beach
think more
Boys
like,
would be,
yeah,
I feel like we draw some influence from Beach Boys, and they were definitely
for sure.
played a decent amount.
That's a great point. Beach Boys definitely with like our harmonies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Beach Boy. I feel like the discovery that Beach Boys are an amazing band is kind of like it's a very like epiphanic, whatever the word is.
Sure.
What do you have an epiphany? What is it called? It's like
having an epiphany.
I guess having an epiphany. Anyway, because I feel like at like first glance, the Beach Boys are just like surfer dude, like surfer music, like surface level, surface rock, and then like you get something like Pet Sounds, obviously, and you're just like, this is like the greatest band of all time.
I know, yeah. I think with Seltzer, it's more of the earlier Beach Boys that we kind of draw from. But yeah, I mean, Pet Sounds is obviously amazing. Like me and a buddy went to see Brian Wilson perform for the 50th anniversary release a few years back. It was really, really cool.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow. Who out of any musician would you want to meet? They have to be alive. So not out of any musician. I changed my question. Right in the middle of it.
Any musician who's not dead. Who do you like? Who'd you pick?
Brendan, answer. Now we all have to think.
Like Dave Grohl is always one that comes to mind.
Yes.
Yeah, just because
yeah, sure, he's a righteous.
I read his
That's
memoir.
the name
and
of the Wave song too. I want to meet Dave Grohl.
Yeah, 'cause, again, it's like as a person, he seems like really interesting, and he would be like a good time. And also, it's just I feel like he's like gotten to see like an interesting landscape of music just from like being in the bands he's been in, but just for how long he's been in it too, you know?
The time and place, man. He just I feel he was just in the right place at the right time for some situations, yeah.
But that has to like deal with so much tragedy in his life, like losing these two important band members that he's had in his two major bands and stuff.
Yeah. It's a heavy weight.
Okay, I think that mine it's kind of random, but my first concert ever was Weird Al. And I still think he would be a really terrific guy to meet, and he just seems very genuine.
My younger brother is 10 years younger than me, and he was like, maybe he was 10 years old, a little older, and his first concert was Weird Al.
Yeah.
For that to be your first concert, I feel like that sets the bar so high with parody songs. It's just
just music in general.
It's music in general, yeah.
He changed costumes for like every song. And I was young, but I don't remember it feeling like it took a long time between songs. It kind of, maybe I just erased the time it took, but for like every single one, he had the costume.
Yeah, he's very impressive. Cool. And his music just got better over time, because we were talking about when he was releasing a music video over a day a week or whatever it was, when Blurred Lines, he did that one, and then he did what was
Foil.
it? Foil, which is then the stuff was just so good.
And
but
Happy, he did one.
Yes, yeah. Then in the concert we saw, it was also very impressive because he did an entire thing. Oh, I don't remember the guy's name. I think it was the other guitarist. The entire song, and it went on for a while. There were no lyrics, no words. They were just making noises, and it was like blah blah blah, 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 and it was all rehearsed. Like everything was on point, and there was still music going in the background, but it was all just sound. It was just noises, and you're like looking at this. Like at that time he was like, what is he now? He's in his 50s.
So there's a movie coming out really soon.
Yes.
Yeah,
with Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah.
Wait, how do we feel about that? Are you guys excited about that?
I am, because Weird Al wrote it. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like kind of, I think, loosely accurate. Like it's gonna be weird, and I think it's a comedy or a dramedy or something. So
okay, now
it sounds very interesting.
I was not about it because it couldn't click in my mind as Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al. I was like, why? Why did they choose Daniel Radcliffe? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Perfect. think
But
it's
that
such
he
a,
wrote it? Now
Yeah.
oh gosh, now I'm excited.
Yeah.
What about you, Aiden? Who would you?
Yeah, what about you, Aiden?
I've been trying to think.
This whole time you give me so much
Weird Al, and
time.
I'm like,
Just
how do you
move
beat
on.
Weird Al? What a wonderful person. And Dave Grohl's a great option. Like, I feel like it's just so many different people for different reasons. I feel be like,
What would you say to Neil Young?
like I kind of want to meet. If I were to pick someone, he's someone I could hang with, and I think I could hang with Neil Young. But I don't know.
That seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, Neil Young would be cool.
I mean, you could sing him like every lyric to Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Just like, wow,
Wow, way worse.
Hold on, Neil. I need an hour of your time right now. Okay.
Yeah, just sit there and chill.
Yeah. I thought something when Reena was talking about like the kind of the jamming aspect of like Weird Al show, and I was curious for you guys. And I'm always kind of curious whenever I see a band that does this, like how much like. What is the thought process for you, and how much do you guys incorporate like the jamming, kind of improvising, like extended solos into your music?
We both hate jam
We
bands.
hate
Oh, really? Wait, how come?
Oh my god! Wow.
I feel like an initial part of Seltzer was, I think Kieran said it perfectly once, where he's like, all of our songs should be short enough that people don't have enough time to figure out they don't like us.
Wow. Hot
Oh my God.
take.
Yeah.
I know it's just funny, it was just a joke, but like I think our songs are always very concise. We edit down.
That was
do
a
That's
founding
great.
principle of our songs, that they would be short, sweet, to the point, no fat whatsoever. So there's often only like 2 parts in a song, and it's just about like arrangement and dynamics mostly to kind of suss out the song. And so yeah, usually we come with just like a couple parts. Maybe they've already been arranged in advance before we jam on them, but usually I feel like the song is kind of written, and then we just figure out the dynamics.
That's cool.
Wow.
Because I feel like that you don't see that a lot in a lot of music. There's a lot of music where there is this desire to be a little indulgent sometimes, and like sometimes it's good. You like hearing a band that you like play a lot, but I think there's like it seems like it takes a lot of self control to be able to like really like make it as tight as you guys are saying that it is.
Yeah. We'll have like a 12-song set list, and it's less than half an hour. And it's always like, oh my god.
Yeah, and that's at a show like with Race. We're like gearing up, I think, to record an album, maybe starting, I don't know, sometime later this summer. And if we did all of our songs, probably like 12 songs, it would, I think, definitely be like around 26 minutes or something like that.
Not a second too long, not a second too short.
Yeah, and I think we always like had this idea that we wanted, rather than giving someone a moment where they're, oh, I know where you're getting this actually, and this is what I think I meant, is that I didn't want like someone to be listening to a song and being like, oh, this should have ended already. So I'd rather it be over too soon and then want to listen to it again.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I definitely feel that way sometimes. You just hear the song, you're like, okay, I've just heard the chorus for the past 16 times. You're like, there's nothing new left to me.
I know. The first song that comes to mind in this way is something like Jungle Land by Bruce Springsteen, which I think is like a 13-minute song, and you're just like, is that a song even?
So to keep playing our game and to bring up another band, and I think influenced us, was this band Milk Dick. And I think that they might be on a hiatus right now, but a terrific 3-piece band that also has like very short songs, and
so
they're
funny
also
and
like
witty.
quite funny,
On the pulse. Like,
super humorous, and like, but still like punk, but very poppy.
And I think they're all like New York natives.
Cool.
I like that. I like that it's also snappy because people's attention spans are getting shorter and people are on their phones and listening to stuff or doing whatever. And if just something's like bursting through and you're like, oh, okay, wait, what? What is this now?
Yeah.
Like, I'm intrigued. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So yeah, what do you have coming in store? You said you're working on recording an album. Is there any other projects going on?
We're gonna book some some shows for the summer.
Nice.
I guess that's pretty much the next thing on the bit.
Well, what about touring?
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, we've never done it before, and I think if we do anything, it'll probably be like maybe some long weekend, local-ish touring, like, head upstate, maybe as far as like the Albany region, and maybe to like Vermont, like, try and create like a triangle or something like
Yeah.
that. Mm-hmm. Same thing south, like maybe with Jersey and Philly.
There's a lot of good local festivals.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people also building, we know somebody you were talking to, a building festival in the tri-state area, and having a lot of people and making it of a higher magnitude, but which is great because New Jersey and New York should obviously have something like that, which is why I was like a little sad because I don't know if Battle Candle, were they paused it or it was happening again, because Warwick had just such a nice space. It was just such a nice area. We're like, oh, this is, you can totally vision this building up, and how many cool people that are just like talented here, and so
that's the like uncool thing about Warwick.
Yes, this is the part of the conversation I'm here for.
It's like pretty conservative, and the fact that Battle Candle happened was kind of like amazing to me, and I felt really lucky to play that. But that was 2019, and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if they lost momentum or what have you, but if it never happened again, I would be surprised.
Well, I don't think it's the end. Mm-hmm. We know somebody who is building a community there, trying to grow. So people, whoever's listening, keep your ears open, keep your eyes open. There are people who definitely trying to build something more like, an arts community, people to actually showcase, whatever talent. I don't know all the specifics because art is a very general. There's like many different forms of art. Yes. But I don't think it's over for Warwick. The conservatives won't take it back. It's getting better. Also, before I forget, if you wanted to plug your handles, anything for Seltzer, anything where people can find your music.
Yeah, you can find us on Spotify. We actually just released 3 songs that we had sitting around for a while. One is called Unbiased. It's another humorous kind of story. And then one called Sugar, same thing. And then a sad song called Republican. And then, we're going to be recording, I think, this summer. Hopefully we'll get started, and who knows, these things can take longer than you expect, but you can find all the stuff on Spotify, just Seltzer. Our handles and emails and all that kind of stuff are uniformly at Seltzer is a band. Is that right, Ian?
Yeah, Seltzer is a band.
Seltzer is a band, yes.
Classic.
Yes. Well, speaking of bands, did you want to add any last minute items to your list before we wrap up this episode?
Laces Out, another local Warwick band with Eddie Trifello.
Top Nachos, the band that played the Battle Candle.
Yeah, they rock.
What's the band from Japan? Sakura Zensen.
Sakura Zensen.
They're amazing.
Awesome.
They're like one of the greatest bands that I feel like I've come across in a while.
Wow.
Whoa, okay. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I'm trying to think of that one band from North Jersey. I kind of want to use my phone for this one.
Well, you can't, Aiden.
So
stop the temptation.
They also played at Battle Candle.
Wait, where in North Jersey?
I part of me thinks one of them is from Greenpoint. It's like these 2 guys. The drummer is awesome because he doesn't use a kick drum.
Oh yeah, amazing. They also played Battle Candle.
Yeah, they're fantastic rockabilly songs. Great energy.
So I actually have the Battle Candle flyer here.
Oh yes.
Do not. I'm thinking of one band. I have one band in mind that was actually a student of Mr. Chris Parker, Brendan's girlfriend Haley, her dad. But I'm not going to say the name yet until you guys. What was that?
Shinner.
Did you just cheat?
Shinner. Shinner.
Yeah, they were fun.
That wasn't the band I was thinking of.
They're great.
There's something else, but yeah. All right. Well, yeah, your final. I mean, you guys work together as a team, so I think it's just a tie. You guys are at like 6-6
They're
even.
bad.
Yeah.
I don't
They're
think we like
collaborating.
competing.
Yeah.
They can help themselves. Well, thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, everybody
It's
check
fun.
out Late Night Hump stuff, and you guys are amazing. We'll have to do this again next time.
Yeah.